Hey everyone, Dr. Jeff LaCure. Happy Monday to you. This is your wake-up call. I got some exciting news that I want to start today's podcast with. So I'm in the process of writing a book. The working title right now, big surprise, is The Wake-Up Call. And what I'm doing is I am interviewing lots of different people who have had their wake-up call. So I want to throw out the invitation to all of you out there who are tuning into this podcast. If you have a story where something has happened in your life, where you got the metaphoric or actual wake-up call, the phone call that changed your life, or the metaphoric phone call that changed your life, and we've all had them. We've all had them. I've had them. I'm writing about my story now as we speak. Hopefully you'll find it an interesting, but most importantly, inspirational story. See, I'm looking for inspirational wake-up calls. I want people to be able to read this book, and I want them to be able to answer the phone before it ever rings. See, one of the reasons I do this podcast, The Wake-Up Call, is to prevent a lot of things from happening in your life, believe it or not. I want to try to prevent you from not feeling great about yourself. I want you to feel great about yourself. I want to prevent you from making poor decisions. See, that's the wake-up call. See, a lot of times we're living our life a particular way. Maybe we're not living our life, pardon the cliche, to its fullest. Maybe we're not living an elite life, a life with kindness and grace, but we need to. And then sometimes we start taking life for granted. We start taking relationships for granted. We start taking people for granted. And sadly, I think most sadly anyways, we begin to take ourselves for granted. That's what this book, The Wake-Up Call, Answering the Phone Before It Rings, will hopefully bring to all of you. The opportunity to make important life decisions before you get your wake-up call, and quite possibly before it's too late. I will say, and I'm not going to go into details right now what my wake-up call was. There'll be a moment. But I will tell you, it did alter the course of my life, and it altered the way I viewed life, and it altered the way I viewed today. And see, this podcast, The Wake-Up Call, is designed to help you enjoy and maximize each and every day to its fullest. And I know the majority of you don't do it. See, I want you to focus on today, and I also want you thinking about tomorrow. Focus on today. Be intentional about today. But I also want you thinking about tomorrow. See, a lot of people focus on tomorrow. They over-focus on tomorrow. And for some of us, sadly, tomorrow never comes. I want to make sure you enjoy today. I want to make sure you maximize your day. See, I hope our 20 or 25 or 30 minutes that we spend together today serves to brighten, highlight, inform, and motivate you. Hope it inspires you to do some important things. And see, I will tell you that I had a very different topic for today. So I'm going to save it for 2 weeks. Sadly, I'm away next week. Well, actually, let me correct that. Sadly for you, I'm away. I'm heading out to Michigan with my fiancée, going to spend some time with her family. Really looking forward to it. And to Abby, I will say this on camera, long overdue. I look forward to it greatly. So I'm going to be on vacation, so I want to leave you with a little inspiration, a little bit of motivation. And I got to tell you what changed today's topic. I was in a Starbucks yesterday. Not a sponsor, you knew I was going to say that. And once again, I see a mom and her very young child, couldn't have been older than 2. The little kid was as cute as the day is long. I mean, that's a cute kid. Having one of those little Starbucks, not a sponsor, little cake pops. And if you've ever seen a little kid eat a cake pop, it takes a long time for them to finish it. Kids are cool. Kids savor the moment. They enjoy it. They want it to last. So I'm sitting in there with my fiance, and we're having our post-workout kind of meal, if you will. And I watched her. I watched her for 22 minutes. That's right. That's how bad my social life is. I watched this mom and her son for 22 minutes. And for 21 of those 22 minutes, she was on her phone. Take a look at this picture. Now, out of respect, because I'm not here to embarrass anybody, so the little guy's face has been blacked out, her face has been blacked out. But as you'll notice in this picture, she is just looking down at her phone. And that's what she did for 21 out of 22 minutes. That's right, I took notes. 21 out of 22 minutes she did that. And folks, I've already done a podcast on how ridiculously addictive and foolish we are for using this nonstop, and how they interfere with the quality of our relationships, and how they interfere with the quality of our parenting. So I have to say it again. See, I was motivated and inspired. Apparently you weren't motivated and inspired enough. I was motivated and inspired yesterday at 10:30 as I sat in the coffee shop and I watched her stay on her phone. Please understand, folks, yes, I'm a little preachy right now. Please understand that children bond while we look at them. They bond visually with us. And what does that kid begin to learn? Right? Kids are really self-centered because they have to be. That's how they begin to know what's right and wrong. That's how they know that they're loved. That's how they know that they're important. They bond with us visually. It's a critical part. And this mom ignored her kid. What does he learn about himself? What could have been so important for 21 out of 22 minutes? She had to be on her phone, and you know, there she was doing the selfies again with the little fish lips. I guess I shouldn't complain. Why? Because when this little guy gets older and begins to suffer from depression and anxiety, and yes, I'm predicting it now because mom doesn't pay enough attention to him, he's going to be in my office. So I guess I got a future client. So I guess I should be happy. But I'm not. I'm not. And to all of you parents out there, leave your cell phone in the car when you're with your kid. Leave your cell phone in the car when you're with your kid. Yes, I know you're saying, Jeff, you're a hypocrite. Here's your cell phone. This is a prop today. See, normally I leave my cell phone in the car. If somebody needs to reach me, at some point I'll be able to get back to them. I don't want to hear the excuses that people need to reach me. You don't need to be reached. You need to focus on your child. You need to hyper-focus on your child. You need to celebrate the fact that, again, take a look at this photo. Face down in the phone. Not giving her child attention. So now the child has to learn how to self-soothe. And while learning how to self-soothe is a really important part of growing up and being very independent, kids need their parents' focus. Again, why, Mom, would you bring this phone, your phone, into the coffee shop? You should be blessed. Well, you are blessed, but you should receive the blessing that you've got time to spend with your kid. See, one of the biggest concerns I hear from parents today is they don't feel like, because of life's busyness, that they have enough time with their child. And you had 22 minutes with your kid. Actually, you were already in the coffee shop when I got there, so at least 23 minutes you had with your kid, and yet you didn't give your kid your undivided attention. Quite frankly, I'm going to tell this mom on camera and all the other mothers and fathers like her, you're an awful parent. You're not good. That's not what good parents do. You don't ignore your kid. You don't have your face knee-deep in the cell phone and then try to prove to the world that you're an outstanding parent. I want to challenge you all, and I hope you'll send me pictures because they're there. Go to any restaurant, And the kid, as they get older, have their face embedded into the phone, just staring at the phone, ignoring their family. And parents, and to this mom, that's what's going to happen. Your little boy is eventually going to have probably an iPad, not a sponsor. You're going to foolishly give it to him, and he's going to be like this in a restaurant. And then he's going to get his cell phone. Shouldn't get a cell phone till at least 16. The brain can't handle it. But you'll get it for your son earlier. You'll probably do it at 10 or 11, and you'll wonder why your son spends 24 hours a day in his room, Mom, instead of spending time with you. Because you have raised an electronic addict. And guess what, Mom? Yes, I'm calling you out. Yes, I'm getting preachy. You are an electronic addict. You are. You're not a good mom. Yeah, I'm saying that. Oh, I'm far from the perfect father. My 4 children will attest to that. But I'll tell you right now, from day one, when they were with me and in a room, wherever it was, to even to today, my undivided attention. Why? Because they're my children. I don't bring cell phones into restaurants when I'm out with anybody, unless, of course, maybe on the rare time there's a phone call that I'm absolutely expecting, maybe business related, maybe something else that I may need to attend. But our children are very important. And this mom, for 21 minutes, anyways, that I calculated, told her son, you're not that important. Snapchat, more important. Facebook news feed, more important. Instagram posts, more important. More important. I don't want to do another podcast on this topic, folks. But you know what? Here's what I'm going to do, because I'm kind of on a crusade with it now. I see it so much in my office, in my clinical practice, where couples spend their evenings on the phone, where couples are at dinner and they're on the phone. Again, I saw it in a restaurant over the weekend, where kids are on the phone, where parents are allowing their kids to stay on the phone, where kids are together in a restaurant and all 4 of them are on their phone. So I'm going to be on a crusade. See, my career as a shrink is designed to be not needed. My career was designed to become unemployed. I guess I should be happy that these were invented, these electronic crack devices. I guess I should be happy because it's really allowed me to expand my clinical practice, because 1 out of 3 phone calls I get from a parent about their teenager is that their teenager spends all their time on electronics. You created that monster, Mom. You facilitated that monster, Dad. You did it because you were on your cell phone. You were on your electronics. You gave them a cell phone to use at 2 o'clock while you were in the grocery store because it would soothe them. See, you shouldn't be a parent if you don't have the skills. We have thousands of children in our foster care system in the state of Massachusetts where this podcast is being produced. We have hundreds of thousands of children in foster care across the country. I'm not saying it's because of cell phones. I'm saying it because there's lousy parents. The parent who spends their time on this, even though the child isn't in foster care, you're a different kind of lousy. You're not overtly abusive. I'm assuming you're giving them all their meals. I'm assuming you're not hitting them. But you are neglecting them. You're a neglectful parent. I challenge any of you out there in the viewership. Come on my podcast and let me know how using your cell phone with your child is healthy, how it's produced great results. Again, let's take a moment and take a look at this photo again. America, this is you. This is the rule. This is what this generation's parents do. It's not the exception. And quite frankly, again, anecdotal, I haven't researched it, but I've observed it. It's far more moms under the age of 40 on their phone with their child than I see fathers on their phone with their child. Interesting. Am I calling out moms? Yes, I am. Dads, if you're doing it, I'm calling you out too. I just haven't noticed it as much. Although I was at a restaurant on Saturday. Apparently I eat out a lot. It's amazing I'm still in shape. I eat out a lot. And the bottom line is I'm at the restaurant. I'm observing behavior because that's what I do. My girlfriend appreciates what I say. I'm an expert on human behavior. So I'm observing it. And there's a couple probably in their 60s. They're having a meal. And the dude, when he got done with his meal, goes right on the phone. And he's just scrolling through his news feed while his wife is sitting there looking out the window going, God, how did I end up with this dude? See, I put part of the responsibility that her husband was on the phone on her. She should have said, if you bring in your phone, I'm not going in. You know I hate cancel culture. I'm encouraging you to cancel the amount of times you're on your phone, particularly when you're with your child. Our children deserve more. You deserve more. As I've already mentioned to you, people who spend time on social media have a 70% greater likelihood of battling depression and anxiety. People who spend more time on social media have more anxiety and more depression. The little boy was enjoying his cake pop, but he was enjoying it alone. He was enjoying it by himself. He was enjoying it going unnoticed. Well, I take that back. I noticed a lot. And for just a few moments, for just a whisper in time, my heart hurt for that kid. And I wanted to go up to the mom. I really did. And just go, seriously? For whatever reason, I bit my tongue. But not this morning. I'm calling you out. Don't do it again. Don't leave that little guy sitting there eating his cake pop on a really wonderfully gorgeous Sunday morning. Sit with him while he eats his cake pop. Bring in a little book. Bring in a Curious George. Bring in a Dr. Seuss, at least one that hasn't been canceled or banned. Don't get me started. And read him a book. Hold him. Bond with him. Connect with him. She put him in a chair by himself and she ignored him. Yes, I'm finger pointing at her because I'm finger pointing at you because I know you do it too. And guess what? Maybe, just one day, we will be in the same establishment together. And I will watch you on your phone while your son or daughter is sitting next to you being ignored. And maybe, just maybe, I'll take a picture of you and I'll black out your face and I'll black out your son or daughter's face, but I'll happily show it to the world because you have earned the right to be exposed. This is Dr. Jeff LaCure, and this has been your wake-up call. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Stay safe.